It's time for another 10 Devo. This is where we take 10 minutes or less to go through our daily New Testament reading and make 3 points of devotional contact with the text. What? Wow. And ouch. Engage the brain, the heart, the hands and the feet, thoughts, feelings, actions. Today's reading was 2 Corinthians chapter 8 and 9. If you haven't read it, go read it. We'll wait, but not on my time. Pause the video. Ready? Here we go. In these chapters, Paul is bringing up the topic of the collection for the famine-stricken saints in Judea. This is a very, very important matter for Paul, not just because it's a humanitarian effort for Christians in genuine need, but because of its symbolic value. Gentile Christians saved by means of Jewish evangelists sent and supported by Jewish churches, now returning thanks to those Jewish Christians. You saved us from the world, this gesture is saying. Now we have a chance to serve God in your direction by saving you from physical hunger. They are breaking down the dividing wall, as Paul has put it, with gifts of love. It's always an uncomfortable time for everybody involved when the preacher talks to Christians about generous giving. It becomes even more awkward when you've had the conversation before and the members of the church signed on to some planned effort, so plans are made accordingly, but then the check never arrives in the mail and there's no indication that they have any intention of honoring their promise of support. What's Paul to do? The preacher has to remind them of their former commitment, but he's got to do it gently, especially in Paul's case. What's the background in Paul's approach? There are a lot of money problems between Paul and the Corinthian church. You see, in Roman culture, monetary support was not given without strings attached. In an exchange of money, the giver was a patron and the receiver became a client. Paul did not want to be anybody's client. He did not want to appear to be in the back pocket of any Christians, much less the wealthier members of the congregation in Corinth. He didn't want them to think that he owed them any special favors. Now, at the same time, he did desire that the Corinthian church participate with their money in his cause, which was, of course, the preaching of the gospel, and in this specific case, support for the needy Jewish Christians in Judea. But turning down support, as Paul had done, opened him up to a different kind of criticism from his opponents. So, you were too good for our money before, but now you're asking for it with no strings attached? Seems fishy to me. While Paul is appealing to the Corinthians' integrity in honoring their commitment of support, he also has to make a defense of his integrity as a financial manager of the funds that he's been collecting from the churches. Paul uses a bold strategy. He basically says, I am confident that you will do the right thing. So confident, in fact, that I have told all the other churches that I visited about your pledge, and your story has caused a massive outpouring of support. So I would sure hate for us to both look bad when representatives from these churches arrive with Titus to receive your gift. It plays out something like this.
Hello?
Hi, honey.
Hey, what's up?
I was just thinking, what would you like me to do for your birthday?
I don't know. Nothing too fancy. You really don't have to do anything. I know things have been weird. Plus, my friends were planning something special.
Your friends. And I'm your husband, but you don't expect the same from me?
Oh, no, it's not like that. I brag to my friends all the time about how sweet and thoughtful and creative and generous you are.
Yeah, right. That describes me to a T. And, didn't I tell you last year that I was going to throw you a nice party this time?
That's right, you did. But I don't want to pressure you. You just do what you can. I understand. I don't want to make you throw me a party.
Oh, of course not. That would kind of that would defeat the purpose, wouldn't it?
Exactly. Just ask yourself, what would Jesus do?
That's always good advice.
And just for your sake, I would hate for you to feel bad if my friends were dropping off their special gifts on my birthday and they found the house undecorated and you out mowing the lawn or, something like that.
Right, yeah, that would send the wrong message about my affection for you.
But again, I don't want you to do anything just because you think it's expected of you. Whatever you do it because you want to do it.
Oh, sure, of course.
Just remember, he who sows sparingly will reap sparingly.
Wait, what? Hello? She hung up. Well, see, you can't command love. You can't make someone act with a true spirit of generosity. But as it turns out, you can nudge them heavily in the right direction. The ouch of these chapters is this: prove yourself. Christian, someone out there is bragging on you. Finish what you started. Even if the end result is something less than you originally intended, do what you can now rather than stalling out over worrying about what you can't. For the sake of the gospel, we should have a care about doing things honorably before men. Paul shows us this here, toward the people who are looking up to us, and with a mind toward the people who are looking for a way to condemn us. The moral of this is not to avoid making any commitments. It's about following through and being a blessing to others. Who is thanking God for you? The gift of knowing you tonight. The wow of this passage comes from the main vocabulary words: grace, abundance, ministry, and bounty or blessing. God has given you and I grace. If He has given you an abundance, use it as a bountiful blessing in ministry to the saints. God blesses us so that we will be able to share in His work of blessing others, and they in turn will give heartfelt thanks to God for you. That is the wealth that they have that you don't, that is exchanged in the process. Christians in fellowship are an enriching cycle of shared gifts: gathering, giving, thanking, encouraging, praising, all motivated by a mutual understanding of what Christ gave on our behalf. Fellowship is a gift from God. Thanks be to God for this indescribable gift. That's it. See me later.